Hello, astrology lovers. Welcome to the channel. I'm here to unpack the new moon in Gemini, basically now. I'm in the northeast of America. It's Sunday night, June 14th, and yeah, I'm really excited for this new moon. This is a powerful reset. Uranus has moved into the sign of Gemini. It has been for a little while now. We had a preview last year, but it's really here to stay for the next 7-8 years. And Uranus is very prominent right now. So it is in a T-square with the nodes of the moon, Virgo and Pisces. So the mutable energy here is really lit up, right? So Gemini is a mutable sign. Virgo, Pisces is a mutable sign. Uranus has moved out of the sign of Taurus. There could be a sense of endings there. I don't know how well you know your chart, your birth chart, or how new you are to astrology, but I will say if you are interested, I am doing donation-based readings, and so this is a great opportunity to learn more about where Uranus was, how it was impacting your life, and where that energy, that Uranian energy that really brings in revolution, right? There's a revolution happening in that part of your chart right now. So for me, it was in the 9th house. I definitely did a whole overhaul, complete overhaul on, my philosophical, belief system. I did a great deal of travel and learning, and I'm definitely transformed from that. And so this is going to be happening in, the house where Gemini resides. So for me, it's in the 10th house. So I'm already feeling it. I was anticipating it, even though it seems, it wasn't a shock or surprise of what has been happening in my 10th house, my career sector of my chart. But it is going to be changing my life. So anyway, that being said, Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. So we can look at and we can think about and reflect on where Mercury is right now. So Mercury is in the sign of Cancer and was just squared by Saturn this past week. So we could have been feeling limits on, mind stuff, right? We could have been feeling really forward moving and positive, and there could have been some roadblocks. But, we have to understand that Saturn's there to check us, right? To check us to see if we are prepared and we're ready, and if it's legit, right? If we have a sound idea. And I think that that's what's happening right now. There's a sense of what the new is, right? So the outer planets have all moved into a new sign this year. There was some retrograde, we had some preview, but they're here to stay in these new signs. So there is a lot of change in the air, and literally there's so much more air element also present. So we're moving out of that watery space. When Pisces moves into, when the nodes move into Leo Aquarius, we're not going to really have water in the chart. Jupiter is also going to be moving into the sign of Leo. It's in Cancer right now. Neptune was in Pisces for so long, and before that Uranus was. We just had a lot of prominent water, and now the emphasis is going to be on air. So we really have to pay attention to the mind stuff. We got to really hone in on a meditation practice, a way to release, discharge, close those tabs in your computer, close those tabs, just really thinking about the hygiene with our mental space, right? Delete those accounts that no longer resonate to where we are. We had that powerful Sagittarius full moon that was really a release of the old belief systems. And what really came through, and the message that came through with that moon was, believing is seeing. So we have to really pay attention how we're orienting and directing our mind to bring in the new, right? The new mythos, the new paradigm, in our personal life. And hopefully, it's going to show up more and more, more meaningful change. right? Because we all want some meaningful change. Okay, so why don't we get into it? And let's see what the cards reveal for us. So the first card we have here is the Seven of Cups. So this is a very interesting card. This is Scorpio. This is Venus in the sign of Scorpio. So there could be a lot of enticing things coming in on the horizon, right? A lot of possibilities here. Maybe even some seduction here, right? And the thing about manifestation, if we want to say it in these terms, is this is the work. This is also the work that we're going to have to do, right? So whatever it is that we want to attain here in the material, like, right, there could be these material things that we want, although the things in these cups are a little bit more symbolic, right? There's like a dragon, a laurel, although there's a riches, right? Yeah, oh yeah, there's jewels, right? So there's like the materialism there. So we gotta be really, like I said, really intentional and really mindful of what we're calling in right now. So the astrologer Divine Harmony, I remember her decoding this card, and she was really speaking to this veiled figure in this cup as the feminine. And since this is a scorpionic card, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. It's the feminine waters. So, you know, I opened up this video and was talking about the de-emphasis of water, but it's still actually really important. And I think that this is part of how we're going to move through this Uranus in Gemini time, which is going to be really mental. We also really have to also balance that out with the intuitive sensing function of the mind stuff that we're moving through, so that we can actually sense what is real or what's not real. So also this card, I feel like, can also be suggesting that things may not also appear to be what they are, right? So Mercury, Gemini is a trickster energy too. So yeah, there can be things that look one way, but could actually be something totally different, right? So that's the opening card. It's very powerful here. And the card that's crossing it, and doesn't necessarily mean bad, it's just in close relation to this energy, is the Cancer card, the Chariot. And Jupiter right now is in the sign of Cancer. So I think it's interesting that we have this Venus and this Cancer, you know, suggesting Jupiter, Venus, Jupiter. So we just had this Venus, Jupiter conjunction. So again, there could be this sense of enticing energy here, right? What is it that we want to birth and grow, right? So Jupiter in Cancer is really about progeny. It's really about, you know, inception, like fertilization, fertilizing the egg. And so, again, what is it that we are calling in and bringing in, because it is really has this potential to become and grow really big, right? We don't want everything to grow big. So, right, there's some things that we want to not have. We want to limit the growth there. So I think ultimately what's coming in is something more practical and stable, right? I mean, this is actually another Venus card. This is Venus in Virgo. And so right now we have the mutable, you know, this mutable energy really lit up, right? So Virgo is in the South Node, and we're really wrapping up the lessons of this eclipse cycle for the last, you know, year and a half, right? This is wrapping up. So the sense of scarcity, you know, how we're relating to the material world, you know, our stability, our safety, maybe burnout, you know, have we been experiencing that in this past year and a half? Have we actually, you know, finally put the boundaries up on, you know, how we need to bring in better self-care, right? So this could actually be really top of mind on you know, what we actually really want to change as far as the patterns, right? So if we're thinking about mind stuff too, how are we disrupting? And we're also thinking about Uranus here. How are we disrupting the old patterns so that we can actually bring in better health, stability? You know, this is also this is like single woman energy. So it's like, but she's thriving. So it's like this sense of being able to do it, you know, without anybody's help. So again, there can be shadow there, but this is basically what's top of mind in this reading. So this is more of the subconscious. So there's a sense of idealism here, right? So this is the happy ending. So we could be imagining this really beautiful happy ending, right? Right. And so there's always a slippage, right, of what we're putting meaning, you know, what we're working towards and what we're putting meaning to, you know, with this sense of wanting to feel a certain way. We want to be happy, right? But, you know, I think just being aware that life is the meaning we give it. And, yeah. Life is the meaning we give it. Let's just leave it there. Let's see what else unfolds here. So this is something that's still very new. That's a little wobbly here, right? So we had that powerful full moon in Sagittarius, right? Where we were sensing into this vision, right? We were sensing into this vision. And so it is gonna require a lot of hope and optimism, and sometimes with Jupiter, right? The hope and optimism, Venus, Jupiter, you know, Sagittarius full moon, like we were really actually in some high vibe energy. And the thing is that, you know, things ebb and flow. So this being so new with this vision, it you know, it's a little wobbly, right? we don't even have the we have 1 cup. This is the 10 cup, right? So there's all this stuff that's going to happen in between, right? But this actually has legs. This has some weight. If we just stick to it, right? We can bring in the will. So this is the Mars card, the Emperor. This is Aries energy. Mars right now is in the sign of Taurus. So there is a sense of like a little bit of a chilling out, a groundedness to all this really fiery energy that we've had. There is a lot of fire in the chart, you know, and this is a fire horse year, you know. So there's a little bit of a calm. But I think that there is a maturing here that is really possible with this. I mean, Mars is still the youth, but we look at the Emperor, you know, it's like he has experience. He's very confident, right? And I think that a lot of times that's half of what you need. Or, yeah, you know, to see something through is the confidence is just so very important, right? So there's still this energy of discernment, right? So cutting through the bullshit, right? And this can also symbolize the idea, right? So there's a discernment, but there's also a choosing, right? So it's like, what is it that we're cutting out? And what is it that we're focusing in our will on, right? Right. So we do have the Devil card. This is Saturn. This is Capricorn, right? As Saturn being the ruling planet of Capricorn. And we are going to have, in 2 weeks, a Capricorn full moon, right? That's the culmination of this moon cycle. This is going to be the culmination of this moon cycle, right? So, you know, so speaking back to the burnout, how can we work better so we're not getting burned out? We might have to make it appear that we are maintaining status quo, right? To, yeah, I don't know, like back again to this idea that there is an idea that's maybe not showing up right now, We still have to bring in the belief for it to happen, but we still need to maintain the old, right? Yes, we haven't quite put the old on passive, right? Right? Our dream is very active, right? Our dream is very active. The old is still present, right? So that's a very intense tension. So lately when I've been talking to people, and it's not even about astrology, but I think about this, and I'm experiencing it too. And maybe it's this Uranus T-square with the nodes, you know, this like crossroads of destiny, that people feel like, oh, you know, there's like, everything feels so different. Everything like feels like, you know, or they want change so badly, but they still, everything appears to look the same, right? So yeah, it's keeping on the trust, it's keeping in the faith and keeping this optimism going, even though nothing on the outer looks like that, right? We gotta bring it from within, right? to bring it forward. And the thing is too with Capricorn, Saturn, and we've had this Mercury, this Saturn squaring Mercury, that it's good. Saturn is good. Saturn is gonna check. It's like all your ideas should go through Saturn, right? So Saturn is gonna know this is good. This has legs, you know, or you're missing this and that. You got to go back 2 steps to get it right in order to progress forward. So it's the taskmaster. You know, Saturn is the taskmaster. So yeah, so this is good. This is actually really good energy. So I'd say, yeah, this full moon, Capricorn full moon. Yeah, it's going to be in the early degrees. It's going to be the first decan of Capricorn. I think it's like at 8 degrees. So wherever you have cardinal signs in the early degrees, that's going to be actually really significant. And I do. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah. Because, you know, the cardinal energy was pretty lit, right? With the Jupiter in Cancer. Yeah, there's some cardinal energy here. And also Chiron. Chiron is present in the Aries sector. We are going to have Chiron moving into the sign of Taurus, where Uranus was. So that's going to be an interesting progression. Again, if anybody's interested in getting their chart read, please reach out, because I'm so about it. I'm so excited to help people out there that want to get more into astrology and understanding their chart and how the transits are affecting, right, their birth chart, their chart. So 2 more cards. We have, this is Mercury in Sagittarius. So a lot of ideas have been coming through. A lot of energy is coming through. It might, again, having to really cut it down to, you know, one thing, like really focus, to bring in the focus, right? To edit, right? To bring in the beginner's mind, right? The Buddhic mind, the beginner's mind where ego isn't interfering too much, right? Yeah, I think in that way, when ego is not really bad, it's just ego is a way, a part of ourselves that continues to frame things in the same way. So I don't know, this could actually also be a lot of parallel tasks that need to happen, right? But we don't want to get into the burnout. But there might be many parallel things that need to happen at once. But ultimately, the ending card here is stability, right? So, and I like that there is a strong feminine earth and there's a strong masculine earth here in this reading. And it speaks to this Gemini energy of duality, but like also the marriage of the two, right? So when we think about Sagittarius on the opposite end of Gemini, it's really the merging, right? It's the centaur. It's like the merging of what actually seems really separate and disparate right now. The merging, the old and the new. I think that's just an very interesting tension here, right? The old and the new. The old, whatever is giving us pain and grief because we're still living in the thing that we want to release. It was also necessary to get you exactly where you are in your consciousness, to help you evolve to where you are with the understanding, the insight, the experience, right? There's nothing like direct knowledge, right? So people can theorize or also idealize things, you know, but it's only until we actually go through it, right? That we go through it where we can own it, right? We can own it. So I think that's the reading. I hope that this served you in some way. And I hope that you do spend some time to really reflect and meditate on what new seeds you want to bring in for the revolution, where you want to bring the revolution in your life. Maybe you already feel it. Maybe you already sense where that's coming or what area of life that's coming in for you. And think about, yeah, what you want to bring in. Don't think about what you don't want, right? Don't think too much in that cycle of the old, and think about how you're going to break and disrupt that pattern with all this beautiful Uranian energy. How are we disrupting the pattern of the past so that we can create that happy ending? Beautiful. All right. Hope you all are good and that this serves in some sort of way, and I'll see you for the next reading.